Hi, welcome back. We are working on an album by Ciao Bella. It's called A Morning in Provence. And what we're working on right now is this inside panel. So what I have started here is my layout. So let me give you the measurement for the base page. This is the sheet I used. It's out of the 12 by 12. Everything I'm working with is 12 by 12, so I'm cutting it down to fit. So this is going to be 9 3/4 inches across, and it's going to be 8 3/8 inches in height. Now I have inked all my edges. I am using a distress ink called Walnut Stain. I think it will help allow a lot of the colors to kind of pop. Now what I've done, I will admit here that this album is going to have a lot of fussy cutting. So I hope you enjoy doing that because there's going to be a lot of it. There's some grand, beautiful images in the cut apart that I'm going to definitely take advantage of. And this is one of them. I think this is just a beautiful piece. So what I did was I very carefully fussy cut around the image. I cut the original paper out from here and then cut in and around. And then I inked it as best I could. And then I'm placing it to the left because this is going to be a weak element. I'm making this into a tuck. This is going to be a weak element. So I'm going to tack this down. I've got tape here. And I'm going to tape across the bottom. And then once I get that tucked in, I did cut out one of the bookmarks and I put in an eyelet and I put in a little bit of ribbon and it's going to tuck in right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this put on and then we can work with the rest of the layout. Okay, it's just going to come and tuck about 1/4 inch up from the bottom. And then that makes just a really nice tuck and it leaves lots of space here for putting in photos. You can put in some fairly large ones, you can put in double ones here, or you can go height-wise, but that is that page. Now, in the collection, there was a page that had this and one more element, which I'm not using right at the moment, that I have taken and cut. The back side of this will be this beautiful lavender piece. But I am cutting this to fit this 8 by 8. So this panel, your left panel, is going to be 6.5 inches with you scoring it at 1/2 inch, and then you're going to score this at 5/8 of an inch. I want a little bit of a gusset on this side so that as you tuck things over here, that there will be room for it to handle it and not create a bowing effect because there's too much behind the page. So we're going to just kind of come right up to that 1/2 inch score mark. And lay that over. And then I'm going to push back because I want to rescore that 5/8 line to encourage it to do what I want it to do. And then over here, I cut a panel, which I'm going to balance in here in the middle of it. This is going to measure 8 and, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that. 6 1/4 inches, and you're going to score it at 1/2. And then this is going to roughly sit in the center as best as I can get it. Okay. And there's no buildup on this side because most of your buildup's going to be here behind that pocket. Now, let me get my pieces out here. For the outside, I'm using this piece. I did have to cut the height to fit because it was a little bit longer than the height of what the album base is. So this has been trimmed. I trimmed a little bit off the bottom and a little bit off the top. I did not have to trim anything off the sides because I measured the cardstock to fit this piece in its width. So I'm going to go ahead and get going with some glue so we can get that down there. It was a toss-up what to use. I just love this side. I think it's so feminine. It's so pretty. I wish there was a way to, well, I suppose there is. You could spray it with lavender scent to have a kind of a scent on some of these albums with the way they're designed. So you're giving it as a gift to somebody. You could do a lavender mist spray so that when they open it up, they're being treated to a beautiful lavender smell. Now, I used this sheet here. It's the back side to a bunch of cut-aparts. I love this, but there's 2 in here, so I should be able to cut this and use it. But anyway, having said that, I did cut this so that this is the inside to these 2 panels. So I am going to go ahead and get this glued in. It's kind of sad that you have to cut into some of these beautiful images. Okay, just going to gently lay this in here, being careful not to get on my score line. Now, in one of there was a cut apart page that I've dug into. It's off all these pieces here. Is this element, and it fit perfect right here. So all I had to do was cut the cardstock to fit. There's no trimming on this at all. So I'm going to go ahead and get this glued down. And I've already got it taped, so I'll be able to put it in fairly quickly. Okay, beautiful. And then I'm going to pick my tape off, make a nice pocket over here on the left. Line it up right here next to that score mark. I don't want to go over it, just want to come up next to it and lay this across. Beautiful pocket. So I don't lose it for now, I'm just going to tuck that in there. Now on this side will be the other piece that I cut from this same paper. My glue's getting empty. Sneak right up to that score line and it should just drop in perfect. I like that the brown, it might not be your color of choice to accent, but I like the brown. It just really allows these colors to pop, at least to my eye. Okay, so now this piece is going to sit right in here like so. So I'm going to go ahead and get this glued in. Beautiful fit. Now, I'm going to turn this back over. On this side, I took one of the small little cutouts, and I've taped it, and I'm going to use it, come up about 1/4 of an inch, and centered as best I can so that I've got a nice little tuck right here on this page. So I've already pre-cut another one of these, but to me it's just a little bit too big for this. Okay, so that's all set. Now we're going to get to our outside panels. They should be the same. You'll want 2 of them. They're going to measure in at 5 5/8. You're going to score it at 1/2 inch, and you're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch. You're going to want 2 because you're going to put them on each side of the base page that we're building here. And I'm just going to come about middle way into the middle of that gusset so that this lays over properly. And then when I come back on this side, I'm going to push on that. So it should have laid, no, I need to go in a little bit more. Sorry, got to do some surgery here. I didn't lay it in there far enough because I can see the tape. So I'm just going to lift this real quick. And I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to go move to the other side while this dries for me. That did not sit in there the right way. This one I've got a little bit bigger of a gusset that I've got to get this around. So I think I'm just going to stack it this way, put it down, and this way I have it positioned where it should be. Now, good job. Perfect. There's no tape showing. So let's try and do this again. I don't know why I'm struggling with this, for crying out loud. You know, you just have one of those off days. Perfect. Things want to go just a little haywire on you. All right, so now on the reverse side, I've used this pattern piece to go here. So I am going to quickly glue those in place. Before I do that, I want to think this through because I did something to the front that isn't that beautiful. That is just so pretty, but this is what I wanted. I think I've got this set. No, it's fine. Okay, this is a 12 by 12 piece that's in there. It's one of several very large elements. And I wanted it on the front. I liked the entrance, and you've got the lavender farm sitting in the back. But there was this other element that I wanted to use, and I'm going to use it to close the page. It's going to sit right here. It's as if someone's bicycled up to the front, the gates here. So you'll want to get in there and do the best that you can to fussy cut. I've inked my edges, and then I laid it and mounted it on heavy cardstock. This is 100 weight cardstock. I would encourage you to use that because it makes for a sturdier closure. So when I put this in here, I'm going to be gluing down this piece, this wheel right here. But the only thing that's going to, what I'm trying to get at is I'm not going to be gluing anything over here on this side because it's sharing a page. It's split between the two. So as I tack and glue other things or tape it down, I'm going to stay well away from this edge that's coming into this side of the page. But to get this on, this piece has to go on first because we have a magnet that we have to place underneath this sheet of paper. But what I want to do is get in here and get these done first. And while I'm doing this, maybe you've stopped the video and fussy cut out your bicycle. As I stated, there's going to be some fussy cutting galore on this album. What is going on here? Oh, I did not cut that straight. Okay, hold on here. I gotta... understand what's happening here. Okay. Let's see. I don't quite understand how I did that. But bear with me. I really deeply apologize for this. But I have my page cut crooked. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, there we go. Now I hope I didn't do that on this side. Let's take a look here. So, nope, this side's perfect. I don't know what I did there. I must have sneezed or something. I like this green polka dot. I think it's pretty. It will complement any photo you put here. All right, so let's get this side down. I'm gonna check something here. For some reason. Oh, I know why it's giving me problems. This is a perfect example of staying off your score lines. I am way on the score line on this. What a goof head. Just a little bit more surgery. Okay, while that side dries, I'm going to go ahead and get this put on the reverse side. Okay, I hope that's the last bit of surgery I have to do. Stay off that score line. Okay, that's closing a little bit better. Now we'll get this. I'm going to temporarily put this in place so that it can kind of position where I want this to be. So I'm going to glue, I'm going to make a little tick mark here. I can erase this in a minute. I'm going to glue this piece down. My fingernails. Okay. And put my tick mark right back where I wanted it to be. Now I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to take the backing off my magnet, and then I'm just going to gently lay that down, lift it. Now I'm going to put this piece on, but I'm going to tape this on so that if I have to adjust this piece, the magnet for any reason, that's just so that it will stay down and not do any popping up. Okay, put this in here, get her lined up. All right, so now this will come over. We got a nice close. So this is going to stay popped up. There's no way of getting around that. And I know I said earlier I was going to glue this down. Well, I can't, because this is how it's going to open. Now, it will take a little bit if you want to. I could glue that down because it's underneath. That it's on the correct side, so I was able to glue a little bit of that down. Now, what I was getting at was, it will take a little bit, but you could come in here and cut a piece. Probably best to have done that beforehand, or just cut a circle to hide this, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get in my die cuts, and I'm just going to cut a small circle out of some pattern paper to cover the magnet, but I'll do that later. And then the only other thing I wanted to add to the front of this is I fussy cut out this butterfly, and I do want to ink it just a little bit so that its color will stand out. I know you can't see it, but I can. So I'm folding it along the body. I'm giving it a nice little fold, because where I'm going to put the glue is here, and I am going to glue down the antennae. They're so fragile, and it's so difficult to fussy cut around them. So I'm just going to glue it down, but I'm going to put it right about here. And glue down the antenna so that they don't tear off. Okay. So the only thing that you have to possibly do is this. You could cut some extra elements to put here on these pages. And then you have your tuck. And now we're going to add tape to the back of this so that we can place this in the album. Now, if you're just simply watching the video and you have decided that you don't like the bicycle thing, that's fair. Make your closure to fit whatever it is you envision. Now this is going to just fit right in here. I'm coming right up to the edge because I cut this so that this would stop right at this gusset. When this closes, I want it to be able to close without bunching up. So this is going to come right to the very edge of the album base on this side. And then I'm going to, I always turn it this way. Let's make sure I've got this on the front. Yep. I always turn it this way so I can see 3 of the 4 sides when I'm putting this in. Make sure I'm well balanced. Gently lay it down. And now I'll take off the rest of the tape. Now, when I take this tape off, on both the ends, I will be making sure that the gussets stay square. Come on. Well, there we go. So I'm going to hold this still, pull this tape off, make sure that that stays square before I commit to my press. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. And then I can take off the rest of the pieces. Pardon my head, I apologize for the angle. I want to make sure that stays nice and square. Okay, now we can get in here and burnish this in place. Okay. There you go. That is your inside left panel. The next video will be to go over page 1, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.